right now.
New video tonight as more military members are deployed to the border. And the White House says they want the Supreme Court to keep Title 42 in place longer. Plus, our Jonathan Cotto also on the border tonight with the preparations for the Del Rio sector ahead of a strong cold front. But first, the search for little Lina now hitting the 1-year mark. And tonight, her father is speaking with KSAT.
During tonight's candlelight vigil, the night team's John Paul Barajas also spoke to San Antonio's police chief about the frustrations felt in this case.
Today was very painful for me, and especially I couldn't tell my wife that today is the 1 year. She's in very bad shape, and she was crying all the day.
12 months of pain and emptiness. That's what Lina Keel's dad, Riaz, told us through his translator. The same void is felt as police continue to investigate Lina's whereabouts and what happened to her.
They never found a piece of evidence yet, so that's very strange for me, because the United States is a superpower of the world, and they have all the resources and technologies and everything.
The only thing that he is complaining about the communication between the SAPD and FBI and the family.
Lina's father also shared that discontent when those who attended a prayer vigil for Lina tonight. Chief McManus taking a moment with her father and the translator before speaking to us.
I understood how he felt and how the family felt, that she's still missing. But unfortunately, we just haven't come across anything that has led us to her.
SAPD released this surveillance video today. It shows Lina playing with her mom and brother moments before walking out of frame, never to be seen again. The lack of answers has led to some questions about Lina's parents. Her father's response is simple.
So I brought my wife, I brought my children. I brought them for a better life, and I brought them here because I love them. I want to live with them together.
Lina's dad tells us he still has hope that his daughter will be found and returned safely. Chief McManus tells us that SAPD is following all leads, but he declined to comment on if they have any person of interest or people of interest in this case at this time. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
John Paul, thank you. There's another big story that many of you are concerned about, and that is the weather, especially after last year's big freeze. People are worried about what's to come with this week's cold front.
Important to note, though, there are some big differences between what we saw in February 2021 and what's expected for Thursday. Meteorologist Adam Caskey joining us now. Big differences are duration and precipitation.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't going to last as long and not be as intense. For example, back in February of 2021, our deep extended freeze with all the problems, we had 107 straight hours of sub-freezing temperatures. This round, at most, worst case scenario, maybe up to 24 hours straight of temperatures at or below freezing. Also, as Tim mentioned, the crippling ice and snow that we had, not just one round, but 2 rounds back in February of 2021. No precipitation here, no snow, no ice, no rain even. The coldest we were back in February of 2021, officially in San Antonio, 9 degrees. This time around 18, and then temperatures will gradually be on the upswing. We'll get into the details when the cold front arrives, what it means for temperatures throughout the day on Thursday, because there's going to be a huge temperature drop, and of course, how Christmas is looking with this in just a bit.
Yeah, there's so many things to talk about with the weather. You know, the weather is complicating many things, like the issue of migrants lining up to seek asylum at the border. Some of them are wrapped up in blankets as they wait to cross into El Paso.
The same concern also happening in Del Rio tonight, where thousands of Haitian migrants sought asylum last year. The night team's Jonathan Cotto was there for us live tonight. Jonathan, you spoke to a nonprofit who is helping prepare for this week's cold weather. What are they experiencing there in Del Rio?
Tim, you know, the international bridge looking empty tonight, but it's important to note that those legally seeking asylum here usually don't stay here in Del Rio. They often move on to their host families further into the U.S. as they await their asylum cases. Now, we spoke with a nonprofit organization who tells us they are loading up to 5 buses daily, each with 50 migrants. And aside from transportation, they're also prepping for cold weather ahead.
We've stocked up on hot chocolate. We also have hand warmers. And actually, I had volunteers today go to True Value and buy some supplies just for our building.
The Valverde Border Humanitarian Coalition, a short-term respite center gearing up for a major drop in temperature.
We have a city building so that we could winterize it. But it's a very big concern right now.
They serve asylum seekers, people who have fled violence or political turmoil in their own countries.
We provide a little bit of nourishment, just the basics, a bathroom, hand washing stations, those sorts of things. There is no overnight shelter option in Del Rio or Valverde County. We focus on the transportation side of things.
Just last year, we saw buses pick up Haitian migrants crowded in Del Rio. That was at the end of fiscal year 2021. This fiscal year, Border Patrol says the Del Rio sector has seen 200,000 more encounters. A concerned lawmakers say needs to be addressed.
Del Rio Eagle Pass does not have the infrastructure and the personnel and the contractors.
And aside from a change in weather and a spike in border crossings, non-governmental organizations now face allegations from Governor Greg Abbott. Last week, Abbott asked the Texas Attorney General's office to investigate the role of NGOs in planning and facilitating the illegal transportation of migrants across the border.
Well, everybody that we help is going through the asylum process through the federal government, so I don't know what he's talking about.
We serve a really important part. I mean, the option would be releases in the street releases. And I don't think that's a great option for the migrant or the border communities.
Now, Tim and Stefania, this is all playing out as the battle for Title 42 continues. Now, the measure allows migrants to be turned away before they seek asylum. But even with the measure in place, we continue to see many of them fleeing from their home countries. Live tonight in Del Rio, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Jonathan, thank you so much for that live report. And there are new developments surrounding the legal battle surrounding Title 42. The White House doesn't have an issue with the measure remaining in place, at least for now. The measure was set to expire tomorrow before the high court stepped in. The Biden administration is asking the court to keep Title 42 active until at least December 27th. The Solicitor General suggested the government needs more time to prepare to wind down. Now, we're also getting new video out of El Paso. More National Guard members are along the border with Juarez, Mexico. According to the Texas military, more than 400 National Guard personnel are assisting. The city of El Paso has seen thousands of migrants legally seeking asylum, but here's the thing, the shelters are full.
To a new report now highlighting concerns with the medical response the day of the mass shooting in Uvalde. The Texas Tribune reports medical helicopters tried to land near Robb Elementary School but were redirected 3 miles away by someone with the fire department. The report also says EMS could not find officers to move parked police vehicles, forcing ambulances to take a detour. A delay in care was also an overall issue. The Tribune says records show 9-year-old victim Jackie Caceres was likely alive more than an hour after she was shot. But one doctor says the report needs some context here, including the 77 minutes it took officers to enter the classroom and the assault-style rifle used in the shooting.
The amount of damage that's done, particularly in vital areas of the body like the head, neck, chest, abdomen, pelvis, it's unlikely to be saved even if you're right outside the operating room.
Now you can hear more from Dr. Ronald Stewart. We have the entire story featuring him and that report online at KSAT.com.
Now for a look at today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. San Antonio police searching for a man accused of robbing his ex-girlfriend at an ATM. The woman told police her ex-boyfriend first broke into her apartment, pistol whipped her, then forced her to drive to a nearby ATM on Blanco and West Avenue. Police say that her 2 children were in the van when it happened. The man got away with the money, but officers say that they know who they're looking for. The San Antonio Zoo making its own preparations ahead of the freezing temperatures later this week. They have extra heaters and also a backup generator on standby. Rachel Malstaff, the director of mammals, says that they also have a heated pool for those hippos. Got to keep them happy. Some animals, however, do enjoy the colder weather. During the freeze nearly 2 years ago, some of those animals played out in the snow. But we want to make this clear. No snow is expected this year. And next year, there's not going to be a cowboy breakfast. But here's the good news. It's going to come back in 2024. The event usually kicks off the San Antonio Rodeo. It was officially canceled today. Not the rodeo, but the cowboy breakfast, after fundraising events fell short and organizers couldn't find a title sponsor. In 2024, the WellMed Medical Group is going to sponsor the free breakfast taco event. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Still ahead on the Night Beat, we catch up with the lone officer dedicated to the police department's mental health unit in Boerne. The changes she's made in 1 year since that program first launched.
And a TikTok challenge that could lead to kids being arrested or worse yet, killed. Now a local police department is trying to get the word out. We're going to give you more details on this next on the Night Beat.
A troublesome TikTok challenge could lead to deadly shootings. Cibolo police urging parents to speak with their kids about the dangers of this new trend. Officers say the challenge encourages teens to kick a door of an unsuspecting resident, but it could have some deadly consequences. Police warn a homeowner could assume someone is trying to break in and defend their family or property with violence. They also warn teens could face a variety of charges because of the challenge. Parents are being encouraged to speak with their children, and homeowners are encouraged to report any of this activity to police.
New tonight, one woman is serving as the entire mental health unit for the community of Boerne. This program launched a year ago, and since then, Officer Rebecca Foley has made some changes. The night team's Patty Santos shows us the program.
Officer Rebecca Foley is the Boerne Police Department Mental Health Unit.
It's not always an emergency, but they do need some type of help. So that's why I would be there.
Her ability to help answer a mental health crisis call or do a welfare check frees up officers for more urgent emergencies. But most importantly, it means a person who doesn't need to go to jail is taken to the hospital or gets some type of help.
I learned how to listen very well.
Listening and observing play a large role in Foley's work.
Just seeing the signs, the symptoms, listening to them, understanding what they're trying to say.
It comes at a time when there's a population boom, along with a steady number of mental health calls from 134 last year to 137 this year.
I want to say that it's because of the growth of our community, but I'm hoping that next year the numbers will go down.
Help is gladly received, and a little change in her approach has helped, she says.
At the beginning, I was wearing my uniform, but then I've noticed that there were some situations where either they were kind of back offish or they just were kind of hesitant.
The focus on mental health has been a county-wide focus. The Kendall County Behavioral Health Collaborative includes Foley, deputies, and social workers for Hill Country Family Services, all sharing resources and a common goal to help and improve.
Just hopefully that education of listening to people, giving people access to those resources will help our community become better.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Doing some important work there.
Yeah.
A reminder, warming centers will be open around the time that cold front arrives later this week. Here's a list of all 7 warming centers that will be open. They will be opening Thursday at 3 p.m. Anyone coming to the center should bring this: clothes, supplies, and medicine. There will also be kennels available at the Normoil, Southside Lions, and Garza centers.
Yeah, just keep those locations in mind. We have all of them also on our website, but if you know somebody who doesn't have a reliable heating system in their home, it's just good to keep those locations handy and share them with them. All right, now here's a live look over Travis Park. And, so we've been talking about Travis Park and how pretty it is with the lights and the ice skating rink for weeks. But really, this is the week where you can actually enjoy the ice skating rink, because last time there were like puddles.
Looks like there's a good crowd out there tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely helps out the ice when we have the cooler temperatures. And it's, of course, going to get even colder in the days ahead. We've been talking about it. More of the same tomorrow. Then temperatures drop Thursday afternoon. It's going to be a sharp and quick drop. It's not going to be like February of 2021. However, we're not looking at that. Before we jump into our cold, let's just get tomorrow out of the way. Take a look at it. Morning fog, 40 degrees. Then by the afternoon, some sunshine, and we'll be in the mid 50s. Not much of a breeze. Look at our mornings, though. We dropped down to 18 on Friday, 20 on Saturday. Christmas Day, 24 is our forecast. Should that verify, it would be tied for the 3rd coldest Christmas morning on record. So let's get a look at the cold air. It's cool across the state. I mean, some 40s off to the north and even 30s in the Panhandle. But the real Arctic air, that's farther to the north. Get up near the Canadian border, and that's where temperatures are dipping below zero. You get to the core of the cold air, and you're talking 40s below zero. Fort Nelson here, 44 below zero. Edmonton and Saskatoon at 33 below. Dawson Airport in the Yukon earlier today, 54 below zero for the air temperature earlier today. That's the core of the cold air. It's going to dip southward and we'll get hit by that cold front. It's going to happen Thursday afternoon. You are not going to wake up to this cold front on Thursday, but you will be going to bed to it by Thursday evening. So let's just break it down for you. Thursday alone, 7 a.m. Cold fronts off into North Texas. The Panhandle 5. Around here, we'll be in the mid-40s Thursday morning. And actually, it's going to be a warm midday. By noon, 1 o'clock, low 60s around San Antonio and surrounding communities. But that's about when the cold front arrives. It moves through, and I anticipate a 30-degree temperature drop from about 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and we should be below freezing by 7 p.m. Thursday evening. And then that sets the stage for the coldest morning, which will be Friday. Around sunrise, 18 in San Antonio, Del Rio 19, even Carrizo Springs 22, Beeville 20 degrees. A hard freeze for everybody. Hard freeze, by the way, defined as 28 degrees or less, and we're going to have that. Our first freeze is a hard freeze here in town. Hello to 17, Kerrville as cool as 12, and Canyon Lake 15. But that's only part of the story. With these strong cold fronts, we get really high winds. Thursday evening, Thursday night, Friday morning, not a good time for the inflatables in the yard, for the Christmas decorations. Make sure they're deflated. Gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour for the second half of the day Thursday, all the way into Friday morning. And what that means for the wind chills is periodically, a few times in the morning on Friday, the feels like temperature could drop down into the single digits. Afternoons, however, above freezing. That's the key here. That didn't happen for several days in a row back in 2021. Different right now, though. Friday will be up to 36, so yes, a cold day. But by Saturday, low 40s. Sunday, Christmas Day, lower 50s by the afternoon with a lot of sunshine. Texas travel just fine. Dry roads, no problems, no snow, no ice, no rain, no moisture with this. Above freezing afternoons with that sunshine helps us a lot. There's a look at the 7-day forecast. We talked about the temperature drop, and don't forget the wind that's going to pick up Thursday afternoon and last all the way through Friday morning.
Just dipping our toes into the frigid air for
Let's just dive right in, huh?
You know, Greg, when Jeremy Sohan signed up with the Spurs,
yes,
there were a lot of comparisons between he and Dennis Rodman.
Well, the hair color, of course, the number 10. And now, yeah, how he's shooting free throws because he's struggling at the charity stripe. When we come back, it's the Dennis Rodman way. Let's see how it works for him. And also why a UTSA wide receiver has been suspended from the team. Coming up.
This SA Salutes holiday greeting is brought to you by Gomez Law Firm.
My name is Joseph Gomez with the Gomez Law Firm. This is my wife Lauren and my two sons Jordan and JB. On behalf of everyone here, we'd like to wish our armed forces and veterans a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Pro football coverage powered by
the possibility of signing free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is now dwindling after he was kept alive by Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. But today he faced the fact the window is closing for the 2022 season. The plan had been if the Cowboys signed OBJ, he'd be placed on injured reserve, meaning he would miss at least 4 games. There are only 3 games left in the regular season, which means Beckham would not be available until after the wild card playoffs. And when you consider the Cowboys haven't advanced past the divisional round since 1995, he might be available for just 1 game. Jones admitted today on his weekly radio show in Dallas that OBJ becoming a Cowboy is fading.
As of this morning, we don't have anything, but I don't have an assessment. The reality is, though, that time is moving on down the road relative to being playing in the playoffs, and so every day diminishes our chances of getting going forward.
All right, on Monday, we told you about the possibility of the Eagles being without their star quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia meets the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Eve afternoon in the key NFC East showdown. Hurts suffered a sprain to his throwing shoulder when he was driven into the ground by Travis Gibson in the third quarter. The Eagles' 25-20 win over the Bears to push Philly to a 13-1 record, while the Cowboys are 10-4, coming off their unexpected 30-24 overtime loss to the Jaguars in Jacksonville. But the Eagles head coach says, don't count Hurts out just yet.
I do not put it past Jalen Hurts.
I don't put anything past Jalen Hurts as far as his mental and physical toughness. So there's a chance he could play this week. And so he is one of the toughest guys I know. And he heals fast. He's a freak.
As if the Houston Texans don't have enough problems now, this is being reported that the roof at NRG Stadium failed to fully open and test before their game against the Chiefs, forcing officials to keep it closed during the entire game. It was promoted to be open in a tweet on Friday, but following the failed test, it stayed shut. In fact, the roof at NRG has not been open since December of 2021, and fans were looking forward to it since the Texans have not won at home all season long. We're now learning the reason why UTSA star wide receiver Joshua Cephas did not play in the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl in Orlando last week. It turns out he had been suspended from all team activities following a car accident early on the morning of December the 9th, the same day the Roadrunners celebrated their back-to-back Conference USA championships with the River Parade. According to a police report obtained by KSAT 12, Cephas was driving a silver Nissan when he lost control of his car, rolled it over at Babcock Road and UTSA Boulevard near the main campus at 3:25 in the morning. He did have a passenger in the car, fellow UTSA football player Emmanuel Ototola. Cephas was taken to the magistrate's office to provide a blood sample, the results of which are still pending, and later was taken to the hospital for treatment of his injuries. At the time, there was no official reason why Cephas did not play in the Roadrunners' 18-12 loss to Detroit Trojans, but when contacted today, here's a statement released by the university regarding Cephas' status. And it said in whole, we are aware of the incident involving Joshua Cephas. We continue to gather more information. In the meantime, per our department policy, is being suspended from all team activities. Following the University of Lee Incarnate Word Cardinals record-setting football season, 5 members of the team earned Stats Perform FCS All-America honors. 1 on the first team, 2 on the second team, 1 on the third team, and 1 with freshman honors. Starting quarterback Lindsey Scott Jr. was named first-team All-America after throwing for 60 touchdowns and scoring another 11 on the ground, helping lead the Cardinals with the first-ever FCS National Semifinals game where they lost to the defending champion North Dakota State 35-32. Wide receiver Taylor Grimes, linebacker Kelechi Analabechi were selected to second team after Grimes scored 15 touchdowns this season. And Analabechi led the Cardinals with a total of 114 tackles, 65 solo. Receiver Darian Chafin scored and a spot on that third team after leading the team with 18 touchdown receptions. And Cole Wilson was named to the freshman All-American team after returning 2 punts for touchdowns. Rookie Jeremy Sohan taking another page from Dennis Rodman's playbook. Next. During the Spurs' 124-105 victory in Houston last night, we noticed that Jeremy Sohan was using only one hand to shoot free throws. No kidding. Take a look. Spurs rookie has been struggling from the free throw line, averaging just under 46%. So he's wearing number 10. He's dyeing his hair. Why not try the same thing former Spur Dennis Rodman did? Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't.
He has a good stroke, with his jump shot. And, obviously we're working through some things, and he's so young. I mean, it all comes down to just being aggressive, being confident, and that doesn't faze him at all, missing free throws. He's going to keep trying to get to the line, which is what you really like to see.
Well, see how it works out tomorrow night, or I should say on Thursday night when they take on the New Orleans Pelicans. That's at the Smoothie King Center, Thursday at 7 p.m. Hey, you got to try everything when you're struggling at any point in the game.
I was going to say, if the one hand doesn't work, you could always...
Oh, Rick Barry, very nice. Good memory.
I have to say it looks kind of cool.
It does.
If it works.
If it works, yes.
We'll be right back. Right now on KSAT.com, some local talent taking a top prize this holiday season. A 4th grade student in the Northeast Independent School District won this year's regional holiday card art contest. You can take a closer look at the winning card featuring Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on KSAT.com.
Tomorrow it's going to be more of the same. We'll start off with some morning fog and then a little bit of sunshine in the afternoon. 40 in the morning, 56 the high temperature. Thursday actually warm through noon, making it into the lower 60s. Then the cold front hits us like a brick wall in the afternoon. Temperatures dropping a good 30 degrees in a handful of hours, and that sets the stage for morning freezes, but above freeze afternoons, Friday through Christmas.
Have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.